And whenever you're ready.
So my topic is resilience in the Roman Empire by me, Rishi. So what is resilience? Resilience is defined in the Oxford Dictionary as the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. So resilience means to bounce back from a failure. And in my slideshow, I'm going to be talking about how does resilience in the Roman Empire relate back to modern society. So first, the problem with resilience in society today. In modern society, people have weak resilience, and due to this, they fear failure. The fear of failure often stems from a fear of experiencing shame or embarrassment. Failing can trigger feelings like worthlessness, so avoiding trying in the first place can sometimes serve as a way to protect the self from disappointment, regret, and sadness. This was written by Kendrick Cherry, a psychologist who has written thousands of articles on psychology with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology. So the fear of failure leads to a weak mindset which cannot stand up against the plethora of problems such as divorce, poverty, and racial discrimination. Modern society was built to support each individual person's well-being rather than the general population. People get overwhelmed with all the personal problems today, and it seems that nobody can do anything to help. So resilience during a pandemic. During the Roman Empire, as an example, the Antonine Plague, Romans understood that the plague was an unexpected new phenomenon and adapted accordingly by trying to mitigate its spread. This is directly from the National Library of Medicine. So people who had the economic means would lock themselves into their houses as a way to avoid infection. And despite the limited information at their disposal, communities and individuals attempted to weather the storm of plague using whatever means were at their disposal. The people of the Roman Empire recognized the deathly risks of the plague, even though they did not know any technical information about the plague. In modern society, an example could be the COVID-19 pandemic. There is a large population of people who seem to think if they just pretend like coronavirus isn't a thing. They're going to bars every weekend with a huge group of friends. They're going to weddings with 200 people or hosting a house party. This quote is from Delaney Halloran, a medical student at the Indiana University School of Medicine. So basically, the government requested for people to isolate themselves because the coronavirus pandemic was known to be lethal. Even while knowing this information, people would refuse to take responsibility upon themselves and isolate. Another example could be suicide and its resilience. In the Roman Empire, the Romans accepted taking their own lives out of a desire to maintain honor. The Romans would take their own lives when it came to honor, as they would rather die than live in the face of disgrace or defeat. They would not kill themselves over private matters, and they did not want to bring shame to their country or their family. They would live their lives in honor and respect, since it would validate their purpose in life, and it would motivate them to fight for the Roman Empire which they lived in. This is from Jacob Jasinski, a writer, author of the Imperium Romanum, a website dedicated to the history of the Roman Empire. In modern society, people take their own lives due to private matters such as stress, relationships, or harassment. People have weakened in mentality to where they commit suicide over private matters. Present-day mentality cannot withstand the private matters, so the bigger picture of general society is consequently ignored. People live their lives for themselves rather than for others. Roman methods of resilience. So Romans would live for each other. They did not know how to lose, and they wouldn't give in to defeat, and they were all inclusive people. So as we can see in this picture created by Vox.com, the Roman Empire lasted for over 500 years because of their excellent methods of resilience. This quote is derived from Emperor Marcus Aurelius Antonius. And this quote, it provides a solution to the problem of weak resilience in society. It is to accept that there will always be change and not to be ignorant of it. as well as changing along with it. So a solution to this problem is to develop stronger fortitude to combat change, is to find a purpose in life. The Romans found their purpose in their empire. They wanted their empire to succeed and along with it themselves. The government should be more involved with individuals to assess problems rather than choosing a singular person to represent a group of people. Finding a purpose in life would give individuals a drive to live and succeed, fighting the fear of failure in themselves. Limitations. Current governments would not be capable of interacting with millions of individuals from their country. To create social network with the government and people would lead to chaos since there are millions of individuals in the country and only a couple federal figures. Implications or benefits. From connecting people and government, combating change in the world would be easier to fight since everyone would be working together. There would be an entire new social network of government officials who are offering help to those who believe they do not have a representation in law. Suicide rates would also greatly depreciate as people would start to feel that they are being listened to. That's it.
All right, just give me one moment. All right, so we have some questions for you. How valid and reliable are the sources you used? How do you know what sources did not work?
So the sources I used, they were all mainly from government-based sources and authors who had a long history in psychology and the Roman Empire, as that is my topic. And can you repeat the second half of the question?
What sources did not work?
Okay, so the sources that did not work were blogs that were representing their opinions and authors who were speaking merely off of opinion-based topics rather than statistics and their own knowledge.
Okay, and lastly, if you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this issue?
If I had more time, I would conduct research within my own community and how people help themselves in resilience to get a first-hand experience with it rather than using an outside source.
Okay. Thank you very much.